Magic.
Welcome to Attic Continues, episode 282.
You're gonna keep smacking your mic around.
Welcome to episode 282. It's a weekly podcast that up every Monday in which we talk about video games and related topics on atticcontinues.com as an MP3 on Mondays, or it goes up before that on youtube.com/atticcontinues as a video. I'm your host, Stafa. Each week I have a different guest host with me. This week I have Ali, my brother,
What's up, guys?
from the same mother,
Yep.
same father too.
Yep.
No illegitimacy there. And this week's episode segments will include our main topic, which will be the SNES Classic. We're going to talk about that. And then a quick announcement and a few news topics. We're going to try to keep this one a bit more brief. Gonna get going. But before we start talking about video games, I just want to talk about this disclaimer first. It's a pretty important disclaimer. If you look at it from different angles, it's a pretty fine disclaimer. I'd like to rate it, I don't know, maybe 8 out of 8. It goes for about maybe $50 on the market. And yeah, it's a pretty fine disclaimer. So, but the disclaimer itself is... all opinions expressed on the show are of our own and not of our employers or the past, present, or future.
Well, that's too short for $50. That's
Are you
very
sure?
that's very bad
Well,
length for our money.
you know what? I have a friend who's an expert on disclaimers. I'm gonna bring him in, and he's gonna take a look at it.
Is this friend Staffa?
No, this is Pawn Stars.
Pawn Stars.
I have a friend who's an expert. Go
There
bring
you
him
go.
in. He'll tell us how much it's worth. So, anyways, let's talk about that SNES Classic while you adjust your volume because I'm hearing myself coming from your end.
Really? Still?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So the SNES Classic, it was announced this week. And you know, there was rumors a while back. We talked about was it you that I had on that we talked about like what we guess would be on the SNES Classic.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And we came up with a list of 30 games and around 30 games that we would guess would be on there. And it looks like the majority of those games actually ended up on this list of games, the 21 games that's going to be on the SNES Classic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's first and foremost 21 games rather than 30 games. It's would have been nicer if they got, threw in the extra 9. But the list of games that they got on here are pretty good. Just going down the list alphabetically, you got Contra 3, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, that would be Final Fantasy 6 Japan, F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Course, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox 2, the unreleased game, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch Out, and it's listed as Yoshi's Island, but it should be Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island because that's like the actual title of the game.
Yep.
So, yeah. Pretty good list.
Saw a lot of Super in there.
Yeah. I mean, let's first talk about Star Fox. I mean, you got Star Fox 2 on there.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting. The fact that they are releasing an unreleased game, unreleased SNES game. So I think that'd be cool to see what they did. Yeah. I just want to see it.
Like this is a game that like no one has ever expected to get released like on the virtual console or anything. Like especially experts who I shouldn't throw around the word experts. People who understand the story behind Star Fox 2. Because basically like what happened with Star Fox 2 is it was being developed by Argonaut, which is a UK developer. And they're working on the game for Nintendo, and it was basically complete, but Miyamoto took a look at the game and he was like, well, this doesn't look impressive compared to like the other stuff that's out right now, because it was like there's PlayStation,
Yeah.
and they were working on N64 games. So he basically scrapped the game despite it being complete. He was like, no, we can't have this. Let's use the technology in this game to make my game look better, which was Star Fox 64. That was the one that Miyamoto was working on. And so Argonaut was pretty unhappy that their game that they worked on, it was basically complete, got scrapped. And also like Argonaut was working on after that they started working on like a 3D platformer for the N64. And they basically for prototype and like presentation purposes they used Yoshi for to be like, hey, check this out, Nintendo. We can make a 3D platformer for your new console. And Nintendo was basically like, this looks like crap. And then E3 of the next year or the following year or whatever, either the same year or the following year, they ended up showing off a Mario 64, which was unannounced at the point. And it basically looked like their Yoshi game that they were showing off. Like, same camera angles, same type of controls. And so Argonaut was pretty pissed about that too. So they're like, okay, we're gonna make this game called Croc, which
that turned out well, right?
Yeah, which has like a non-copyright infringing Yoshi. So considering that Nintendo kind of like pissed off Argonaut, and they're the ones who worked on Star Fox 64. It's something that many people would have never expected to see the light of day. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than Star Fox 64, the inclusion of Star Fox 64, Star Fox 2. Like I think probably the weak links in this list of games would probably be like Kirby's Dream Course, which is like this sort of Kirby
golf,
yeah, kind of
isometric golf, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's not really golf, but like that's the closest thing to compare it to.
Yeah,
because you're knocking a ball Kirby around and trying to get it into a hole.
Yeah, it's like we'll call it golf.
Yeah, it's anime golf. Japan golf.
Anime was a mistake.
Yeah. Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. I think that's a odd inclusion. I mean, yeah, that was the one that was more popular in the United States because it was more available. I think that was like the most popular version of the game. But if you look at the list of games that's going to be included in the Super Famicom Classic, which is slightly different than the list of games that are on the SNES Classic. The Super Famicom Classic has Super Street Fighter 2, which has the additional 4 characters, Cammy, DJ, Fei Long, and T-Hawk.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure what the reasoning is for like including like from what I understand, US has a different version from the Japanese SNES Classic. So I'm not sure what exactly the reasoning is. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna guess.
Yeah. Also surprised to see Super Ghouls and Ghosts on this list.
Yeah.
I didn't think that would make it, because I mean, like, the Ghouls and Ghosts series is known for its hard, its difficulty, and so it's not like a very popular franchise. I'm not saying it's a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying it's a very difficult game. So it
It
just
is.
wasn't
I
very
remember
popular.
playing it when I was younger, and I was like, "This is very. It's not easy."
Yeah. In fact, a lot of kids associated its difficulty with it being a bad game.
Yeah.
So it's like, just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just a difficult game. But kids are like, "Oh, I can't get past the first level. This game is bad."
Yeah.
No, you're bad.
You're the worst.
I am very happy to see Super Mario RPG on this list.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean it's a really good game. So I think there would be quite a few upset people if that was like missing.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they'd be like super upset, because it wasn't like a very popular game. I think it's more of a cult classic than a household name. I mean, like, my coworker, we were talking about this. I was like, "Dude, I'm super hyped that Super Mario RPG is on this thing," and he's like, "What is that?" He never even heard of Super Mario
Wow.
RPG. Yeah, and
That's
he is really into like Nintendo games, and he what jumped on the NES Classic. He's that type of gamer. Um, went out of his way to buy one of those, and he didn't even know what Super Mario RPG is, and I had to explain it to him. And it's a game that was developed by Squaresoft at the time, before Enix bought Square. So it was developed by Squaresoft. Came out like around the same time as Mario 64. In fact, at that time, when um when Super Mario RPG came out, I didn't even know what I didn't know what RPG meant. I didn't know it meant role playing game. So I just thought it was like um the SNES equivalent of Super Mario 64.
huh.
Yeah, because I was looking at the game in Nintendo Power, and I was looking at the screenshots. I was like, "Whoa, they actually got Super Mario 64 on the SNES. This is amazing."
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you never knew, you see this like pseudo 3D thing going on the screen. I guess it's not too difficult to kind of accidentally come to that conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it has like this isometric view, and the graphics look like, they're similar to, the same style as like Donkey Kong Country, in which it looks like it was rendered in 3D, but it's obviously sprites.
It's just sprites, yep.
Yeah. So, it looks pretty good. Uh, I mean, it still looks good today, despite it being like, a 3D rendered game that was converted to sprites. But at the time, I was very impressed by the graphics, and yeah, I mean, just to continue describing the game, it's a role playing game. in which you play as Mario, and I guess the only other um Mario characters that you play as are Bowser and Peach, and the
Mhm.
other ones are like these completely original characters that were designed by Square, and you never see those characters in any other game again because they're Square characters or owned by Square.
Yeah.
But like Bowser is not like the main bad guy of the game. It's like this I think his name's Smitty or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name was.
Yeah, I think it was Smitty.
Let me see.
But it's like you're going against this guy Smitty who drops a giant sword onto Bowser's castle and takes it over. So, yeah, I mean it's a very fun game. Has
Smithy.
Smithy.
It's
Okay,
just Smithy.
okay. But yeah, I mean, it was very fun. Had a good combat system for an RPG where like there's timing to the button presses
Yeah,
to get crits.
to get yep, which
And
I like, as opposed to an RNG type thing. You could kind of guarantee it if you're good enough.
yeah, there was also some good platforming in it as well.
Hmm.
Some clever puzzles, and the humor was pretty good. I think the humor really stood out to me, just how goofy the game was.
Hmm.
Um,
I
like
remember the first time I walked behind the curtain in that game.
yeah, that was one of my favorite parts where you walk behind the curtain and Mario walks out the other side looking like Mario from the
8-bit Mario.
8-bit Mario from Mario Bros. Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
And then he realizes he transformed, so he like runs back and goes back to normal.
Yeah.
Like it's just a humorous game. It's
Hmm.
uh I mean, just that alone makes me very excited to get the SNES Classic, or to attempt to get the SNES Classic. I mean, I'm very excited for this thing, and would like to pick one up.
Yeah, I would like one as well. Um, it seems like there is an issue with them getting pre-orders out because they're having difficulty getting the proper FCC approvals, which
Okay.
I think it's kind of silly that they kind of announce it before. I mean, I'm sure they're going to get it, but you'd think it's proper. What's the word I'm looking for? It's best practices to get that done and over with before you reveal a product.
Hmm. But yeah, it's definitely something I'm really excited for. I mean, it's $80. Comes with two controllers.
Hmm.
Um, So that's cool. And they say that the controllers are 2 feet longer than the controllers for the
Yippee!
NES Classic. So it's like 5 feet long.
Yep, it is 5 feet long.
Still not very long,
Hmm.
but at least it's not 3 feet.
Yeah.
And I don't know, trying to see if there's like any other games on this list that I think is worth talking about. I mean, it's all pretty straightforward.
Hmm.
Um I mean, looking at some of the differences between this and the Super Famicom Classic, uh, the Super Famicom Classic has Fire Emblem on theirs, um, as well as uh, the Legend of Mystic Ninja, which was pretty popular in Japan, and some of those games came out in the United States and no one cared for them.
Yeah.
Super Soccer, of course, there'd be a soccer game. It's Japan, very popular over there. Um, looks like they don't have Kirby's Dream Course. They because they realize it's a stupid game, and they don't have Super Punch Out. because they're not savages like Americans who like punching each other in the face.
That doesn't make any sense. Didn't Nintendo make it?
For the American audience.
And the Japanese wrestling is quite impressive. I mean, I know wrestling, boxing aren't the same, but
Very different.
I know, but still.
And they have a game called Panel to Pan, which I have no idea what the heck that is. No clue. Well, oh yeah, I'm gonna look up what panel to pawn. Search Bing. Let me know what. Oh, it is Tetris Attack.
Oh, interesting.
Huh. So that was one of the games when we were talking about our wish list.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned Tetris Attack. I would like to see that on there.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be on the Super Famicom Classic. I'm not sure. Well, it's Tetris. It looks like it's Tetris Attack, but without like the Yoshi characters. But I mean, the gameplay itself looks identical. But regardless, I mean, like, it's a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm jealous. They have Tetris Attack. Why don't we get it?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's some. I feel like they could have done a little better with this lineup. For example, like in my head, a huge glaring omission's Chrono Trigger. You know,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's,
definitely.
um, so I'm not sure what exactly their reasons are for having some of these omissions in one region versus another. Maybe licensing issues. I don't know, but
Like I was talking to people at
it's not
work,
a bad
and
lineup by any mean. It's just that the SNES had so many good games. You know, you kind of look at the list, and unless they're all on there, no matter what, you're gonna say, well, you know, some things are. It could be better.
yeah, I mean, like I was talking to people at work, and one guy mentioned that like the holy trinity of SNES uh, RPGs is Final Fantasy 3, Secret of Mana, and Chrono Trigger. It's
Yeah.
like you're obviously omitting Chrono Trigger from that list.
Yeah.
Also, I'm still hearing myself coming from your hand slightly, but
Sorry.
also Donkey Kong Country. I mean, they are leaving out 2 and 3.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would have rather had two as opposed to one. I didn't like one that much. I thought two was a lot better.
I think 2 was sorry, 1 was my favorite.
Really.
Yeah, I liked 1
I
the
didn't like
most.
three at all. I really didn't like it. Just having that weird like overworld, and then have to get the vehicles, and I don't know. I didn't like it.
Oh yeah, the overworld, like you actually were able to like move around on it, right, with that
Mm.
vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're on land, you still had like the little lines from level to level that will automatically take you, but then you'd get into there's like these little areas where you could get like a hovercraft or something, and then you would just go across the water, and that was like free roam type thing. It was really weird.
Like with number 2, like I had some issues with 2, like the spider
Hmm.
that you ride on, like his web thing is like it was difficult for me to wrap my head around it back then.
Hmm.
Like how to use it. I know it's probably like super easy, but I don't know. As a kid, I was retarded.
That's harsh.
I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't use that language. I apologize. Um, but okay, I was slow in the head back then,
Hmm.
and yeah, I couldn't wrap my head around the spider, and also like the differences between Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong were too large.
Hmm.
Like with Donkey Kong Country, I mean, yeah, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are very different, but like they're close enough. Like their jump distances are about the same.
Yeah.
Um I think Diddy Kong jumped slightly further and ran slightly faster, but so I always used him.
Hmm.
But like they were close enough to each other where it like didn't make a difference as to like which one you were playing. But when it came to like Donkey Kong Country 2, when you played either Diddy Kong or Kong, Dixie Kong's like hover mechanic made
That
her
was
very different.
superior.
Yeah, and
I think superior. Yeah.
it was like, okay, I really need Dixie Kong for this area because there's like a hidden barrel way far out there, and you can only reach it
If you
with
float
Dixie
with her,
Kong.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I didn't really like that aspect of the game where the characters were significantly different to the
Hmm.
point where you needed to have a certain character to be able to do certain parts.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, like in the because it made it less as if the two uh primates were like it was more like a health system in the first one. You know, it's like okay, I have two hits.
Yeah.
You know, and the second one, it's like oh,
They each have
I
their different
yeah, it's like
pros and cons, I guess.
I'm stuck with Diddy Kong. What am I gonna do? Yeah. um. I'm trying to see if there's anything else worth mentioning with the list of games. I mean, like Super Castlevania 4, they obviously put the better of the two Castlevania games.
Hmm.
Because like Dracula X, even though that was the newer of the two games, that it's Super Castlevania 4 was the better of the two games.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Anything else you think worth mentioning? There's Earthbound.
I mean, I've never played Earthbound, but I think it'd be nice to play it as an option. So why not?
Yeah. I think Earthbound was supposed to be like a late NES era game. And I think that actually did come out on the NES or sorry, the Famicom in Japan,
Hmm.
and just they pushed it to the SNES for America.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, system will be available September 29th. Two controllers, $80. Um, I would love to get one, but I don't believe I will be able to get one. My
Yeah.
faith is very low. So
I probably won't be able to get one either because I'm like I didn't even know like it was announced, and I thought like pre-orders were done when I found out. Like it was like several hours after the announcement, and I was like, I want this, and then I was like, there are no pre-orders anywhere. What happened?
yeah, well, like in the UK, it's sold out in an hour
Oh yeah.
because they have pre-orders in the UK.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like within an hour, it's sold out, and yeah, I have no faith at all. It's more of something that I would like to get, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to like actually get one. My
Mhm.
only hope is if somebody at work gets multiples and sells them at face value, will not try to like get too much of a profit off of them to
Yeah.
other coworkers. So
Yeah.
that's my only hope, but I don't I don't I don't really have faith.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Oh well.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. You know what I do have faith in though.
What is that stuff?
I have faith in DreamHost.
DreamHost.
Yeah,
Why is that? Tell me.
because they're their web service with that offers unlimited storage, unlimited bandwidth, user-friendly interface. They also optimize to use content managers such as WordPress and many more features. All that just for $7.95 US. It won't sell out within an hour.
It will not.
It will not. And if you use the promo code Avid Continues, that's one word, no spaces. It'll waive away the set fee and get you a free domain registration. That's a deal.
Mm-hmm. It is a deal.
That is a deal. Quick announcement. iTunes, we can use iTunes reviews. If you use iTunes, we'd really appreciate that if you leave a review for us. It's one of the single most helpful things you can do for the podcast is leave a review so that we can get some more exposure through iTunes. The more reviews that we get on there, the higher they'll place us on the iTunes charts, the podcast charts. If we don't get a single review within a week, it's as if we have no reviews at all, and they won't even place us on there at all. So
yeah, I don't understand. I feel like that's not sustainable. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's basically like a system in which the rich keep getting richer and the poor don't get anything of it. So it's like, okay, you got podcasts like the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this podcast gets millions of views every or millions of listens every week, and so it probably gets like hundreds or thousands of reviews each week. But a podcast like mine, where I have a listener base of
we only get like hundreds or something like that.
Yeah, I get a listener base of the hundreds. And zero reviews, so it's like no one's gonna leave a review due to the small listener base it's a tough system. So if you can leave a review, it'll really help us out. I'd be happy. It'll put a smile on my face. And and if you can't leave a review for whatever reason, I understand. iTunes has issues. But if you want to help us out in other ways, you can do so by sharing the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, whatever social media you use. I mean, we post the new episodes on Facebook and Twitter every week. So if you want to like retweet or share on Facebook, that'd be really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Tell a friend, tell your mama, tell your daddy too.
Tell your daddy too.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's start talking about the news. And let's start talking about the news. So, first news I have on here is this unexpectedly popular game. Not a small game at all. This is huge. If you're not playing this game, who are you? Get out of my face. Start playing this. It's called Phantom Dust.
It's a great game.
Yep, the HD remaster. It was released on Xbox One and Windows 10 last month for free. A free HD remaster that has what's it called? Play Anywhere. Is that what the Xbox thing is called? I think it's called Play Anywhere. I think so.
Xbox Anywhere?
Something like that. But it has cross-play. Anyways, so this article basically
play Anywhere. Yep.
Yes, I'm smart. So Microsoft has announced that the game has passed 1 million players, and it's getting a substantial update. Well, it doesn't say what the update is. Probably just like bug fixes or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this game is very difficult to describe because there's no other game like it. It's like if you take the rules of Magic the Gathering and make it into like some sort of like an action game with anime style blasts and flying around. It like that's kind of a way to describe it.
Yeah, it's an action card game with yeah, anime. I guess is the best descriptor because
Yeah,
there's a lot of explosions, a lot of I don't know. That game made you feel awesome, in my
yeah.
opinion.
I mean, I do want to use the word card game, but I don't at the same time because it uses rules of a card game, but
Mhm.
it's not a card game. There's no cards at all. You're not like Yu-Gi-Oh slamming down your trap card. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
so there's no like actual cards in the game. You're playing an actual character like a third person view. Uh Similar to an action game, moving them around,
running and
jumping or
jumping.
yeah,
Yeah,
running and jumping, and you're using your abilities as if they're cards. Like you
yeah,
have like a plasma sword and you use it like as if it's a card. You have like your sniper laser and you use it like as if it's a card. So
yeah. So like when you play this game, you have an active. We'll call it a deck, an active or an you'll sorry hand. You'll have four um, cards, and
yeah,
each is mapped to the face buttons. Which would be X, Y, A, B on Xbox. And each one has a cost for using it,
mana.
an energy cost, yeah. And near like when you start a round, you have each player spawn in like their own designated area of the map, and in that designated area, you have a you have four uh, pickups. You will see the
I thought it was
pickups.
three.
Is it three?
Yeah, pretty sure it's three.
Oh, okay. I haven't looked at it in forever. So, you have three pickups, um, and each pickup is designated by a color. Each color represents the type of card you're picking up. I don't remember what the colors were. There's like I think like a green, a purple.
There's basically five different colors, similar to the fact that Magic the Gathering has five different
Yeah.
colors as well.
Um, but the colors don't represent elements; they represent like type of cards or type of things you're picking up. White is your mana or your energy or whatever you want to call it.
Well, white it doesn't count as one of the colors.
Oh, it doesn't. So
No, no. So there's five colors
plus
on
the
top of
white.
white.
Okay.
Yeah, white is mana.
Okay. But yeah, you just basically um, you run around with four different cards, and you will like do this active like third person combat, and you don't run out of like your the mana isn't consumed, it's used and it has to recharge. So I think the more mana you have, like the first several are super quick to get, it like recharges, and the more that you want to like have hold like held up unused, for example, let's say 14, so the higher you get up to
Oh, I was
close
gonna say like nine because
9, yeah,
that's more realistic.
yeah.
You're probably not
um
gonna get to 14.
well, either way, like it takes longer to recharge the more that you have. So it's really easy to recharge that one over and over again, but you're not really going to have a card that will just constantly have one.
Yeah.
So
So going from 0 mana to 1 mana is quicker than going from 8 mana to mana.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, because it's free to play. You guys should really check it out. It's an awesome game, and there's like destruction and
It's not free to
super
play. It's
awesome.
just free.
Oh, it's just free. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you could buy decks.
Oh, I'm not sure,
Oh,
but
I don't
I'm
know.
I'm gonna say free
Okay.
because like it's a remaster of the game.
Either way, just play it. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. and there's really clever things with it as well. I mean, there is the multiplayer and it's really fun, but like, for example, one of the abilities or cards that you can get, it lets you listen to your opponent's microphone.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Just unplug it
So,
then.
well, I mean, if you're doing 2v2,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
they're trying to coordinate, and then you have like this ability, uh, you know, that lets you listen to the microphone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, it's as if they're listening to us. What's going on? They know
Let
everything we're
me read
planning.
your mind.
It looks like you're playing Super Mario Sunshine.
It looks like you're playing Phantom Dust.
There you
Anyway,
go.
like I said,
Yes.
it's a great game. If you have a PC or Xbox One, you should try it.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to.
I
Uh,
was making the joke at work the other day that there's dozens of us who play
yeah,
us.
I feel
It's
like a lot of people know it's a cult classic, and they will kind of pretend to be on that train. But I feel like the number of people that actually played it is a lot lower, considering the lifetime for Xbox
it
was
came,
really short.
well, it came
Um,
out like I think it was like the same year that the Xbox died.
yeah, yeah, and it was also a Majesco game, so
Yeah.
that was like their last game before they started making like.
Actually, I think it came out in '04 and the Xbox 360 came out in '05.
Oh, 05, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. But
We used to play Phantom Dust a lot. You were a lot better at it than I was, but we played it a lot.
well, that's because I played through like the entire campaign.
Well, I played through the campaign as well, but
Oh,
I
you beat
don't.
it too?
Yeah, I just wasn't as good.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking my tactics were better, and I was trying to outplay you, but I just played myself. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Everyone's playing checkers, but I'm playing chess.
There you go. Um,
But yeah, there's no longer dozens of us. There's millions of us now. So,
yeah,
yay. Play this
yeah,
game.
yeah. You really should.
Let's talk about Star Citizen.
Okay.
So, the Star Citizen dev, um, what's his name? It seems like they changed their studio name. I thought it was like Robert Space Industries or something like that.
I think they
Um,
did change the name.
but where is it? Cloud Imperium Games. I thought it used to be Robert Space Industries, but they like took out a loan, like a massive loan out from Cuts, which is or Couts. How would you pronounce that?
I don't
Coots.
know.
Anyways, it's
Coots, maybe. I don't know.
UK banking institution, with the entire company given as collateral.
That seems quite drastic.
Yeah, so like if they are unable to pay for, repay this loan, there goes the entire company. It's like those stories of um people gambling and they put like their family members. It was like
Their family members.
there was like a Saudi Arabian prince. Like I heard this like last
Oh
month.
no!
He put like 5 of his 6 wives
Good
down
lord!
and lost them in,
Oh my
in in
god!
while gambling. He lost 5 of his 6 wives while gambling.
That's Saudi Arabia, folks. That's
Yep. That's
round of
that's a
applause.
Saudi Arabian royal family for you.
Round of
Uh,
applause for the Saudi Arabian royal family.
I'm hearing some feedback coming from your mic now.
Oh
That's
no.
it's gone.
Okay.
Okay. But anyways, back to Cloud Imperium Games. Like uh, a lot of fans like, whoa, what's going on? What are you doing? And they're basically saying, look, everything's all right. We're supposed to be getting a government game tax credit rebate, which they're supposed to be getting every month, but they want to like basically the loan that they're getting is the same amount as the rebate that they're claiming is the same amount. So they're just
Is the rebate just late or something?
So it says right here, our UK companies are entitled to a government's game tax credit rebate, which we earn every month on Squadron 42, which is the single player campaign of Star Citizen. These rebates are payable by the UK government in the fall of the next following year when we file our tax returns. We have elected to partner with Coots, a highly regarded, very selective, and specialized UK banking institution, to obtain a regular advance against this rebate, which will allow us to avoid converting unnecessarily other currencies into pounds. We obviously incur a significant part of our expenditures in pounds, while our collections are mostly in US dollars and euros. Given today's low interest rates versus the ongoing and uncertain currency fluctuations, this is simply a smart money management move, which we implement upon a recommendation of our financial advisors. So it sounds like they're trying to get an advance on the tax rebate, and they need it in pounds because they're not going to like be converting the US dollars and euros to pounds due to like loss of money. Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah, it's loss of money due to exchange rates. But still, like the fact that they put like the entire company as collateral for this loan is very concerning.
Maybe they're just really confident in it and their ability to repay it back, and providing a larger collateral would like reduce interest rates or something.
I don't know.
Still, that's like if something really went bad, that would be a disaster, you know.
I'm no biologist or anything, but
biologist.
Yeah, it just sounds concerning to me.
I'm no urologist or anything.
All right,
something smells funny.
Let's move on.
Womp, womp.
Let's move on and let's talk about Splinter Cell. So Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, he did a Reddit RMA. Someone asked him about Splinter Cell, and
did you say RMA?
I'm pretty sure I said AMA.
You said RMA.
Did I say RMA?
Yeah, he's getting a return manufacturer authorization number.
I said Reddit AMA. Anyways, if I said RMA, I meant Reddit AMA.
I was confused.
And ask me anything.
There you go.
He did and ask me anything. Yeah, and people asked him about Splinter Cell, and he basically said that we received lots of sketches and proposals around the brand, and we're going to pick one up. I think you will be able to see something, but you'll have to wait for that. So no official announcement, but like they definitely have not forgot about Splinter Cell. The last one that came out was in 2013, Splinter Cell Blacklist, which I still haven't played. That like I have it, I haven't gotten around to playing it. I think it got really good reviews.
Yeah, apparently it did pretty good, but I only had, I think, PS3 at the time, and apparently the performance was less than optimal on it.
Yeah, so I didn't want to get it. One of my predictions for E3 was that they were going to announce Splinter Cell. That they were going to like turn off the lights, and then you'd hear And then like the three lights show on the screen.
Yeah.
But no, they'll do that next year. My
High
prediction
pitched.
for my prediction for E3 2018. But yeah, not much else to say. Moving on.
Yeah. I hope it's good. I don't know. I feel like the way the whole Tom Clancy series has been going, it's been turned into not my thing. Like they regressed from what I liked.
I mean, Rainbow Six is still doing its thing.
Uh, wasn't that
Siege.
they just did Siege, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, people are still playing that game.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
I
It's
should
very
I
Rainbow
should play
Sixy.
that.
Yeah, it's just like the other stuff is going off the walls though, like um, Wildlands and the Division.
The
Like it's.
division could have been so good. Like it had good bones there, but they really messed up several aspects of the game. And then
I mean, like with those things, it feels like they're like not even like within the military simulator genre any longer. Like, cause that's what Tom Clancy used to mean.
yeah,
Like if whenever you'd see Tom Clancy, like back in like the early 2000s and the late 90s, Tom Clancy's meant, okay, this is a military game. We're trying to make this realistic,
yeah. I
and
mean,
yeah,
uh, the division it's not even a Tom Clancy, like he didn't write anything called the division or anything about that.
yeah. Well, he's
So
dead now.
yeah.
He's rolling in his grave.
Um so uh like having them try something new with the division, I'm okay with. They kind of went with like an RPG style, you could get critical hits and that sort of thing. But they had so many missteps, and like I got really burned by that game.
Speaking of burning, this gentleman's about to burn some money into his wallet, Mr. John Romero. Yep. So he's selling off his old Doom stuff, probably cleaning out his closet, and figured he could make a few extra $1,000 by doing so. And the latest thing he's been selling is the original Doom 2 floppy disks. Discs, more than one.
Yeah.
So it's not just one copy that he's selling. But yeah, like it's going for $2,550 right now. Let me see what's it at. Let's oh, now it's past 3,000 and it's sold. So it's the winning bidder bought it at $3,150 with $5 shipping.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an easy 3,000 for Mr. John Romero, just from something he kept from his early development career, and it probably doesn't even work any longer.
Yeah. I don't know how long their magnetism stays. I mean, not many people have floppy disk drives anyway.
I mean, it's a collector's item.
It is a collector's item.
The
Yeah.
person is gonna put it in a glass case and probably like in their man cave, and or in their living room if they're that big of a fan of Doom. And yeah, I guarantee you it's gonna be in a glass case, probably away from direct sunlight. And yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Nothing else to say about this.
Nope.
Than,
I don't. It's cool, I guess.
Yeah. Other than John Romero making a few extra $1,000 over a floppy disk that likely doesn't even work any longer. You know, did he test it before selling it? I want to know. He needs to like verify with eBay that this thing
Yeah.
still works.
Satisfaction guarantee.
Exactly. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Neil Blomkamp, the director of District 9. And what's the other movie he did? Elysium. I still need to see Elysium. I heard it was not so good, or I guess okay. I heard okay reviews for it. Have you watched Elysium?
No, I didn't watch Elysium.
It was that Matt Damon movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so um, Neil, he works for Oats Studios now, working on like a short film. Um, but he just so mentioned that also some backstory. He was originally attached to a Halo movie with Peter Jackson, and then it fell apart. And then he was like, "Screw you guys! If you're not gonna let me make a Halo movie, then I'm gonna make an amazing movie that's gonna make you guys wish that you had me working on a Halo movie." And he made District 9, which was an awesome movie.
District 9 was really cool, yeah.
Yeah. And like there's definitely parts where you can, you know, you're watching it and you're like, yeah, I can see the Halo.
Yeah. They definitely had a lot of sci-fi. I mean, that was sort of thing sci-fi, but
Mhm.
it was also sort of grounded in I don't know how you'd like to call it, because like sometimes sci-fi is just like complete space, everything's
Yeah.
lasers, whatever. But this
Mhm.
is like kind of a hybrid of modern with future. So
Yeah.
and Halo is sort of that. They have a lot of that hybrid stuff going on.
Hmm. Yeah, it was a really great movie. I you know, at the time while watching the movie, like the action scene at the end felt like it was, I don't know, it felt a little bit out of place. Like it was a good action scene, like it was really cool with like the Titanfall-ish um bullet catching magnet thing,
Yeah.
but like you know, just the entire movie is, it's not, you know, up until that point it's not an action movie. And then like there's like this random action scene at the end, which just,
Yeah.
while it being a good action scene, it just felt like it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, it was more of what's I don't want to say drama. I don't know what kind of genre that would be. Like just the rest of that movie. I mean, it worked really well. I liked
Yeah.
it considerably. So
It
I don't
was
know.
a depressing movie,
It was.
but it was really good. But you know, despite you know, with that all that aside, he was speaking to Polygon, and he basically said that he would absolutely love to work on a game, but that that does not confirm he's going to ever work on a game. In fact, it sounds like he's probably never going to work on a video game, due to him being so busy right now. You know, focusing with Oats and his current short film that he's working on, and but he basically says that if he were to work on a game, he would like to make something in the vein of shooters like Titanfall, Halo, or Battlefield. So sci-fi shooter.
Sci-fi, sci-fi, not sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi, not sci-fi. Unless he's no, never mind. I was gonna say Battlefront, but that's, he said Battlefield. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, Titanfall obvious because you know it's that action scene at the end of District 9. Halo obvious since you know he was supposed to be working on a Halo movie. But yeah, I mean, obviously he wants to, he would like to work on something that he's comfortable with, which is sci-fi and shooting.
Hmm.
And but you know, that's just him saying that, you know,
If he did,
yeah, if he did, not saying he ever will.
yeah.
That's it. So let's move on. Since we're talking about movies and kind of video games, Jumanji. So Jumanji, you don't sound very pleased about this at all.
It looks so dumb.
Did you watch the trailer? Okay, so Jumanji, the reason why I'm fitting this in is because, well, this is not Jumanji 2. It's not a sequel. Seems like it's a reboot. And yeah, basically, like rather it being a board game, it is a video game that they are playing in the beginning of the trailer. And it is like this. You are unhappy about this. So like the video game console that they pull out is like this pseudo, like Atari 2600 looking thing.
It's a game station.
It's a game station. It's like the pseudo Intellivision looking, just made up looking thing. Even though like the main menu of the game that they're playing is very crisp and doesn't look pixelated at all.
Well, you see, I feel like games back then didn't have main menus.
Yeah.
It's kind of booted into a game.
Yeah. But I mean,
pop in adventure. Oh, you are just this cube sitting in this maze looking thing. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Playing hoops. Or no, not hoops. I think it was called basketball. Playing basketball, you got two guys just standing there, one dribbling.
Yep. But yeah, so they're focusing on or making this more of a video, them being in a video game thing, and also that's another thing is it seems like this is going to be more like the Jumanji cartoon than the Jumanji movie or book. So rather than the game, rather than the game coming to life and coming into the real world, it's them getting sucked into the game.
So they're doing dot hack.
Sure. Never played dot hack, but yeah, it's they're making this more like the cartoon Jumanji, where you remember the cartoon where they like got sucked into the game.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, like that cartoon had a very unique art style.
It really did.
That's like the best way to describe it. Unique art style. But obviously you didn't like this trailer. Please share.
No, I didn't.
Please share. Share your thoughts.
Share my thought. What do you mean share my thought? It just doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good.
It's just like one of these other, like every other like reboot like we've had shoved down our throats. It just doesn't look good.
Like the first 30
seconds. The premise is also dumb.
Like, for me, the first 30 seconds of the trailer I thought looked stupid. With them like, oh, you're going to detention. Clean out this basement. Why are they cleaning out a basement for detention? And then they're like, oh, I just found this really bad console, and we just happen to have a CRT TV in here.
I don't know. It's just
that part to me seemed bad, but like after that, like once they start like bringing in like The Rock, Kevin Hart. Like I was starting to dig it. Like it seemed like it's gonna be an actually entertaining movie. After that point, and I think this is gonna be the Rock / Kevin Hart movie that we have been waiting for. Not the previous one where I don't even remember what that movie was called. You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't know.
It's like the one where The Rock is like a CIA agent or something like that, and the premise is that Kevin Hart's character was his only friend during high school, and Kevin Hart was the cool kid, and The Rock was like this fat kid that got picked on, and then fast forward to current day, The Rock is now like this, jacked up CIA agent on like super spy missions, and he runs into his buddy, that his only friend.
I am.
Like, there was tons of advertising for that movie, and it was like, sometimes you need a little heart and a big Johnson. Playing
Central Intelligence.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Central Intelligence.
Like that movie. Like, a lot of people were hoping for that movie to be good because of the Rock and Kevin Hart working together. And from what I hear, their interactions are pretty good, but the movie itself is stupid.
Just bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Just like the whole, like the trailer. I don't know. It has.
I didn't like the whole "Welcome to the Jungle."
I don't like that either.
Aerosmith.
No, that's Guns N' Roses.
Guns. Yeah. So someone just got super angry that I just said Aerosmith.
I almost got angry. It's okay.
So someone broke their MP3 player.
But like just you have this really, I don't know. I get this slight Jurassic World vibe of it, of like being a gritty remake, but then also this dumb hokiness of like they get sucked into it and then they become these characters they selected, and it's just like, this is so dumb.
I didn't get a vibe of gritty remake anywhere. Like, nothing about it seemed gritty at all.
Well, maybe I need to rewatch it then.
I don't know. I watched this while I was in the restroom at work, so maybe my mindset was different.
Anyway, yeah, it's, I don't know, just like the whole idea of them being these different characters too, and then it's just like, if I was Jack Black and I looked in the mirror, I'd scream too. So I don't know. It's just like, I don't know, man. These remakes these days.
I think this shows promise. I'm not saying it's gonna be a good movie. I mean, this has just like any other movie, it has like all the potential to be terrible, and but I'm interested. I'm more interested in this now than I was when they announced it.
I am interested in that HD CRT TV they're using.
There you go. All right.
Super crisp.
Last thing we'll talk about for news. Not video game related, but comic related, and you know how I am. I like to talk about this stuff. Inhumans. They dropped the first trailer.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't even look at the notes then?
No.
Thank you. I was going to talk about this with you.
Well, tell me about the what was in the trailer.
So the trailer had Black Bolt and his brother, who I don't even know who he is. I'm just gonna call him Ramsay Bolton, because it's played by the guy who played Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
So Ramsay Bolton, he's not agreeing with his brother Black Bolt. Black Bolt and Ramsay Bolton. There we go.
There you go.
Of course, they're brothers. So he thinks that Black Bolt is shouldn't be living in hiding, and that I guess they're like on a kingdom that's in outer space, that's like floating around the Earth, and that they should come down to Earth and take what's theirs, and the Inhumans shouldn't be hiding. And so like they tried to place a coup on Black Bolt, and he's about to like kill him with his voice. Like, that's something that they're hinting at in this trailer. For people who don't know what anything about the Inhumans, like, oh, he can kill people with his voice.
Mm-hmm.
So he's about to do that, but Lockjaw, who is the giant telepathic teleporting dog, comes
Isn't
in.
Lockjaw a disease or something?
Yeah, my Lockjaw is acting up today. So Lockjaw comes in, teleports them out of there. Like the effects look kind of bad for that, though. It's like Lockjaw looks pretty bad. The
It's a
teleporting,
TV show though, right?
yeah, it's a TV show.
So I
It's a
mean,
mini
you can't
series.
expect it to be. Oh, okay, it's a miniseries.
Yeah, it's like 8 episodes or something like that.
So it's not going to be reoccurring at all.
I don't know.
Okay.
He comes in, teleports them, and then it shows like Black Bolt on Earth. Like, it looks like he's trying to fit in, or he's like on the run. Like he's at a certain point, he's no longer wearing his suit. He's wearing like Earth clothes. Um,
So how are they going to tie this to the other Marvel shows though?
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna tie this with. I'm interested in learning if they're gonna tie this with
Agents
Agents
of
of
Shield.
Shield. Yeah, because they're both ABC, and Agents of Shield has been pushing the whole Inhumans thing for quite a while.
Yeah.
So,
I just kind of skimmed through the trailer and I didn't see anything that would point to any kind of crossover. So um,
yeah, I mean, especially since this is only eight episode. I mean, like I
I would hopefully like. I mean, I would like something more than just a simple nod in one of the episodes.
I'm
Um,
assuming at least for this first 8 episodes, they're probably not gonna have any connection.
mhm.
But then like in the following season of Agents of Shield, they're probably gonna like reference the crap out of this.
Yeah.
um, if anything, they might have Greg Clark, aka Agent Coulson,
Hmm.
show up for like a scene.
See, I don't want that though. Like he's a likable character, but just like him popping up randomly, like oh, I'm part of Shield. You have to help us out, and then just like he's gone.
Yeah,
like so have it something meaningful, you
we're
know?
here to work together.
Yeah.
We're on your side.
He's I mean, he's like that lawful good character, you know, like when you
Mhm.
have one of those grids, he's the far top left, you know,
Yeah,
and just having him pop in an episode, oh, I'm lawful good. Oh, Agents of Shield. Let's do this.
I I know what you're feeling. You're on the run. You can't trust anybody, and you're trying to do the right thing, and you feel like every time you do the right thing, that everyone turns against you. But I know that feeling. We're here to help you, though.
Oh no, what have we done?
It's happening.
It's happening. One
But
of
aside from that, like I don't know, like I when they released that first image with the Inhumans in their costumes, I thought it looked terrible. In this video, it doesn't look as bad. I mean, I guess in motion, them wearing the suits, they still look bad. They still look like costumes,
yeah.
uh, like cosplay costumes. Um, it still doesn't look good. It looks slightly better in motion. Um, there's like there's an inconsistency in the theme though. Like it's trying to be like very serious and dramatic throughout the entire thing until like they have Lockjaw, and like at the very end, Lockjaw is like doing some goofy like, oh, I'm a happy dog, and like just some really bad CG. But
Maybe
um
Lockjaw has Lockjaw.
like I don't get why they're like just the difference in theme. Like this part's like trying to be goofy,
Yeah.
and it's like the rest of it's trying to be serious. But I mean, Lockjaw is like a very one-dimensional character. Like Lockjaw's only personality trait is loyal.
Hmm.
That's
Because
it.
it's a dog.
Yeah, like he's a big dog that teleports, and is telepathic, and he is very loyal. That's his only personality trait.
I love Lockjaw, the big brown dog.
There we go. They're gonna like, have a spin-off series just for Lockjaw, and it's like gonna air on ABC Family at
They don't have ABC. It's Freeform now.
this is gonna be on Freeform 11 a.m. on Saturday mornings. Yeah.
Lockjaw wanted go out, so went down to the earth.
Oh God.
It went to Riker Island to meet many new friends.
But
Most of them thugs.
hey, all right. But anyways, I'm gonna still watch this
Yeah.
just because
I still need
you
to
know.
watch the other what was the other one called? The one with like Yo-Yo or whatever her name is.
Oh, Slingshot.
Slingshot.
I think that's what
Yo-Yo.
that is her name.
That is her name? Okay.
Yeah, but the mini series is Slingshot, and
Okay.
I think it's like every episode's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like
Yeah.
that.
I still
I
need
don't
to
know.
watch.
I didn't have any interest in watching that, but yeah, because that's like a spin-off series, and like each episode's only 10 minutes. Like I don't know, didn't give me the impression that it was something I need to watch. So I'm still gonna watch this. That's it.
Yeah.
My hopes aren't too high, but did you watch through the trailer? What's your
I
thoughts?
did. Yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I didn't see any ties to Agents of Shield. I would like it to be more. I feel like these things need to be more cohesive instead of just like I said, Coulson randomly showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't want them to overdo the crossover stuff like CW does.
Oh
Like
no, not like that.
they overdo it. But
They do crossovers because they try to get people to watch their other shows. See, I don't want that. I want like a story, like a narrative reason.
yeah, like I want the universe to actually feel more connected other than like just verbal references
Yeah.
or a newspaper that's hanging on the wall.
Or a what was it after what was it the not the it was one of the movies that came out and then Agents of Shield came on and it was like, good job, Coulson.
Oh, that was Age of Ultron.
Oh, Age of Ultron. Like,
Yeah, like because like they saved the people from
yeah,
the floating city with the whatever
yeah,
the flying base stuff,
yeah,
and like in the movie it was Nick Fury in there, but
yeah.
then and on Agent of Shield they're like, oh, Agent Coulson, thanks for sending those out there, and good job, you saved
Good
the
job.
day.
And it's just like, what? I didn't watch the movie at that time, so I tuned in. I was like, "What happened? What's going on?"
Yeah. And like the
It's
episode
like,
before, they're like, oh, there's this thing in this shield base. Oh, sorry, this Hydra base in this Arctic area. We gotta send the Avengers out there, and that to
that was it.
explain like the very first scene from Age of Ultron.
It's
Uh,
it's just so I don't know. Oh yeah, that's it. I'll leave it at that.
like they did it really well with the first season.
Hmm.
Like showing a different point of view of what happened during Winter Soldier. That was really good. But then after that it wasn't done as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's wrap things up.
Yep.
So no listener feedback this week. If you want to write to the show, write in podcast@outofcontinuous.com. If you're listening to this on your Apple iPhone, you can tell Siri, remind me to email podcast@outofcontinuous.com, or If you're listening to this on an Android device, you'd be like, Google, remind me to email podcast@avkeens.com. Because I know if you're listening to this on your phone, you're probably not, gonna like immediately send us an email, and you're gonna forget by the time you get home. So you set yourself a little reminder. Be like, hey, I need to ask Staffa what the heck is up with this lockjaw thing. It's my lockjaw is acting up today. Maybe he can help me. Why did Skype just say send all your cat photos you want? This is. I don't even think I'm logged in on Skype on this computer.
Oh no!
Get it out of my way, Skype.
Oh
Anyways.
no! It's a Microsoft overreaching.
Yep.
You've been hit by Microsoftware.
Yeah. So, anyways, top of the show. If you enjoy what you've been hearing, you can support us by liking us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, leave an iTunes review, subscribe to the Google Play Music. You can also contact by email. That's podcast@outofkeens.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/outofkeens. All those things I just said, they can be found on the website. That's www.outofkeens.com. You can give me a tweet. I am at SayedStafa. That's at SayedStafa. And Ali is over here on Twitter even more than me.
Yep. I am at Phosphor112. That is PHOSPHOR112.
I'd like to thank my guest host for joining me today, Ali.
Hola.
And with that said, I am your host, Staffa. And if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a floating icon above my face that contains a logo. Click on that to subscribe. And this is last week's episode over here. And over here is the week before that.
There you go.
See you guys.